Hey guys, Cam from 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I hope you guys are having a great start to your Easter Sunday. If you celebrate Easter Sunday, obviously due to religious reasons, hopefully you guys have a happy Easter. So far I'm having a good morning. Caught up some animes, finished finally caught up with Blue Lock, saw the ending of that. But right now, I'm moving on to a new spring anime of 2023, and that is heavily Delusions. Now, funny enough, if you're wondering why did I not do a review last week of this show, one, I thought I was one of the people that thought like, oh wait, Japan gets the episode first, then we get episode 1 a week later, and we're kind of a week behind. But no, I guess episode 1 came out last week. I couldn't find it. Now, for people who don't know, still up to this point, where do you watch Heavenly Delusions? Since the rights for the anime to stream was bought by Disney, I think if you're international, you watch it on Disney Plus. But if you're on Hulu, if you're in the States, you watch it through Hulu. It's kind of like Bleach, pretty much. Which hopefully, just to go off topic a bit, hopefully that means that if Disney's gonna start having more rights to these animes and purchasing these rights to these animes, hopefully this is the best case scenario they always do with these animes, and that is they get the licensing for the anime to stream it, but they do a simulcasting of it. They don't do, say, a summertime rendering, which I gotta watch. I'm only like 2 episodes into that show. But hopefully, going forward, Disney, when they get rights to animes, they now realize the fans want to see the anime weekly. They don't want to wait for like what Netflix does. Like, for example, when me and my co-host finally review Eden Zero Season 2, we're gonna frickin' talk about how Crunchyroll bought the licensing rights to Eden Zero instead of Netflix, where with that whole situation with Eden Zero, we had to wait practically months till we got a batch of episodes, and it would only be in a batch of 13 episodes. Here, Disney, so far, it seems they're 2 for 1. They're 2 for 1. I will be fine with Disney buying anime or getting the licensing rights to stream anime as long as they keep things simulcasted. Also, too, they did it with Tokyo Revengers, so technically they're 3 for 1. The only loss they got was summertime rendering. But the 3 animes they streamed on their websites, which are Tokyo Revengers, Bleach, and now Heavenly Delusions, they're 3 for 1 right now. So if they continue to purchase more anime for their licensee streaming rights, then make it simulcast. It seems like Disney's realizing that, and the more these companies realize that, hey, ones that don't affiliate with anime streaming, unlike it's like a Crunchyroll or a HI Dive or High Dive, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Now, if Netflix can frickin' sure up and do the same, but what do I know? Netflix is a frickin' dying platform because nobody really cares about Netflix other than a few series. But anyways, just kind of a quick off-topic thing. But like I was saying, I missed out on the first episode, so obviously you're getting a dual episode review here. Now, right now, as of this part in this recording, I only watched the first episode, so it's gonna be cut up into different parts. So I have time to watch episode 2. But episode 1, man, episode 1. I was very intrigued to see where the show was about, because I remember in my what I will watch / review video, I was very intrigued with the premise, and just the poster alone, it looked very interesting to watch. After not watching it for 1 week, I did hear a lot of good things about episode 1 and what people were saying. And I was like, okay, let's talk. I gotta find it. But if you're looking on Hulu, they actually go by its Japanese name, which is Tengoku Damakyo. They don't call it Heavenly Delusions on Hulu. I don't know if this, so you're gonna have to type in Tengoku Daimako if you're having trouble finding it. It's not under its official English name. I don't know why, but alright, that's fine. But the first episode, man, it was a really interesting episode from beginning to end, where this anime is pretty much in a post-apocalyptic world where it looks like it's kind of like some of these certain animes where they have like these children stationed in this little facility and everything that is kind of like Harmony or some sort of oasis. While then when they cut to the outside world is practically a barren waste. I wouldn't say a barren wasteland, but it's in ruin. There's like, you have people struggling to find resources. Like, the one thing is, we see like, oh, batteries is like a limited resource. Like when we see how Kiru and Maru get to the end at the end of the episode, not only along with the payment to give to this lady, they give her batteries as well, like this 4-pack battery, and she's like, oh wow, you can't find these things, which goes to show me that like, oh shit, there must not be there must not be a lot of batteries and things like that. We see at the start of the outside apocalyptic world, if we cut away from the oasis little safe haven these children are in, we see that, like, obviously it's hard to find food, things like that, and it's a pretty interesting premise. And then going back to the whole safe haven for these kids, they're like being taught by robots, about just things. But then we see at the end of the episode that it seems like there's like these hierarchy adults that obviously are doing this whole thing. So it's got that storyline where even though you got these robots teaching these kids, you obviously have like these more older humans, kind of observing everything, and making sure everything's running on schedule and there's nothing that's going on. But you find it very freaking interesting that like they were taking a test, and all of a sudden this one girl was scrolling down, and the next thing her screen glitches out, and then it says, do you want to see the outside of the outside world? And it's like, what the hell? And then she brings it to attention to this one boy she's friends with, only to get the end of the episode where the dude is wondering like, oh, I wonder what's outside of the outside world. And then you have this old lady in a wheelchair alongside 2 other humans like, hey, why are you not going to sleep, and things like that. And then obviously he's like, well, I was wondering if there's like an outside of the outside world. And then obviously this old lady gives like a creepy ass freaking smile, where it's like, oh well, yes, there is an outside to the outside world, and things like that, which was interesting because the 2 attendants next to this old lady in the wheelchair was like, I think they're gonna find out soon. So I don't know we don't know what's the case of this post-apocalyptic world. We don't know what was the reasoning why the outside world got to a destroyed state like this. But yeah, in terms of our 2 main characters, in Maru and Kiru, there were 2 really good, interesting protagonists, especially Kiru. I had to look at the summary to find out what her name was, because in the episode, Maru kept calling her sis, and the subtitles were calling her sis. They didn't call her by her real name. So that was all interesting. So we pretty much get a basic understanding that Kiru is looking after Maru off of a mission, which kind of pisses him off, because she tells the innkeeper like, hey, yeah, he's just something I have to protect. So it kind of pissed him off. It seems like Maru might have some sort of crush on Kiru, or he might have feelings for her, because he does make the mention when they were sleeping on the couch in another house at the start of the episode, because she's looking for these 2 people. I forgot what the one guy, the black-haired guy, was called, but she doesn't know the older individual, but she's looking for those 2 guys. And Maru is like, is one of those like your boyfriend or something? And she's like, no. Man, so it seems like our boy Maru, he apparently got the hots for Kiru. I guess I don't blame him. She's a cute looking girl. So that's kind of the thing there. That kind of pisses him off. But they kind of have a run-in encounter with like these thugs, I guess you can say, who obviously were probably after morally Kiru, because Maru's like, oh, I'm a boy, and they're like, oh god, it's a guy. But they were more interested in Kiru because she's a girl. And obviously that whole fight scene was crazy. Maru was kicking booty because he knows, I guess, martial arts or karate, while freaking Kiru, it looked like she was playing bluff with a gun. But then we found out like the gun is like some sort of laser gun, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, she's gonna melt them. And I absolutely died of laughter when she was like, hey, can I charge my battery or things like here? And they're like, all right, fine. And she threatened them with a gun, only to find out at the end, after they leave, oh, that battery she charged was the battery to the gun she was charging. So in a way, she played them. Now, I don't know if that's gonna, if they're into those guys, that's definitely not going to that's definitely not, definitely not gonna fall for it again. But it definitely shows that they can definitely protect themselves. So that's pretty good within itself. But you know, you get to the innkeeper stuff, I would thinking like, oh, it's gonna get to the sus innkeeper thing, or maybe, you know, that's kind of thing. But in reality, you know, we see the innkeeper in a way is a good person and protecting them. I did find it funny with the whole bath scene where she was trying to kiss the mirror and everything, and then obviously the innkeeper comes in and she's like, oh, in the now I don't, now again, I don't know if she's pretending to like be confronted by this guy, this black-haired individual who I forgot his name, and maybe she does like that guy, I don't know, but who knows. But I thought that scene was hilarious. But you can see, like, I don't know how she got those scars on her back, but it might have something to do with this creature or something like that. Which they make a reference to this monster, because in the episode at first you see this big flying bird. I'm like, what the hell is that? So yeah, and then, you know, she eats, you know, the thing is, you know, after they eat their food, they go to bed. It seems like this innkeeper managed to like drug them in a way to make them pass out and go to sleep. So I guess they're not hearing what's going on, because we get the episode ending off where it looks like the bird flies down and she's loading up her shotgun, and I'm guessing she looks like she's gonna confront this thing. Sadly, thing is probably gonna be dead, but hey, she did a good thing in trying to help them. She's not a sus person. But the one thing that creeped me out was this damn bird, because the end of the episode when it's screaming and it's like, yeah, I'm like, you see eyeballs and shit from like its like trunk, and I'm like, what the hell? Now my prediction is, I wonder if in the safe haven, if some kids find out about like the outside world, like, do these people like somehow like capture them and do like these tests and turn them into these creatures? If we're talking like, if we're gonna get like freaking dark here, well then that's would be the thing, because those look like human eyeballs, and the way that that bird was screaming, it was screaming like it was a human. So I wonder if I would not be shocked if it's like, oh, they freaking somehow killed this kid and fused like his conscience into this damn bird and things like that, which would be extremely dark. But yeah, that's crazy. So man, the first episode, absolutely freaking like, I'm just shocked, and I can't wait to watch more. So that's kind of the thing there, and it was a great start to the first episode of Heavenly freaking Delusions. Okay, now let's get to episode number 2, because episode number 2 threw me for an effing loop. What the actual hell is going on? I'm confused. I'm shocked. I don't know. This story is getting absolutely wild, and we're only 2 episodes in. I also forgot to mention the innkeeper making the funny reference about, I guess, the incest angle, like thinking like, oh, they were brother and sister, but that was funny, hilarious. Oh, so yes, that's the thing. So in episode 2, we get the opening and the endings. They were both great. I enjoy both the openings and the endings. They were very visually animated, really damn good. Speaking of the animation is actually pretty good too. I'm not one to like go in and look in on animation and talk about it like in depths, but the animation looks good. The animation for the opening and the endings looks phenomenal. But in episode 2, which was this week's episode, man, holy hell. Just to leave off with the cliffhanger that Kiriko is, on the outside, looks like a woman, but she has the brain of a man inside her. It's weird. Now, she has this weird scarring and things like that. Now, maybe that's because she says, like, oh, I was attacked by the man-eater bird thing, which I'll talk into that fight scene in a quick second. But I don't know where they're gonna go, but what? It's so weird. I'm like, how? What? How? Now, again, I don't know if she's saying that, so I don't know if she's saying that so she can have a mirror, or a boy freaking get off her and just like not like confess. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But if that's the case, like, oh no, this is like some sort of body swap situation, then that is so freaking wild, and that's just absolutely crazy with where they're going to take this story, man. I don't know where it's going to go, but geez Louise, that was probably the crazy thing. So that was wild to end off the episode. They actually end up finding like this little safe haven area village here, which I guess these people here, they pretty much get high and just enjoy life. I guess I can't hate them there. I don't do that stuff, but they enjoy their lives. So yeah, it was also funny too when they were on the way there, they were on this ocean. They were on the sea and they were like paddling on this thing, and it's funny because when they get to the village, like, oh yeah, there were crocodiles in there. Now the reason why Kiru and Maru end up getting scared, it was absolutely funny because they were wondering like, what if there's like crocodiles in this freaking river? And yes, there were saltwater crocodiles, and they're like, what the hell, man? So it's absolutely funny. We get more interesting tidbits with this school or this class or whatever. Like one dude, like, I guess has feelings for this one girl, and girls sending him like naked pictures of herself, and my man's getting like shocked by it, or he's enjoying it. But the most shocking thing is, so there was a part in the episode, again, there was a part, the main boy we've been seeing in this school setting, in this safe haven captivity setting, you know, a ball goes to like a place where the adults are only supposed to be allowed, and or the teachers are supposed to be allowed, and no students, and he's like, can I be able to get the ball? And they're like, yes, you can get the ball, just make it fast, pretty much. So I wonder what's behind that door. I don't know what's behind the door, but there's something behind that door. Second thing that we saw that was interesting is the one kid, again, he was talking to another kid, and this kid in a wheelchair, right? And this kid in a wheelchair, he started going in pain. He had like this black spot on him. When we get a point where we have Kiriko reminding or having a flashback moment, she remembers this character, I forgot, it started with an M. This character had all these like black spots, like it's some sort of plague over her body, and I'm like, what the heck is this? I don't know what's going on, but what is this? What's truly going on here? And then you have the most shocking part, which I was like, so you have this kid, after he gets the ball, he takes these like two robot things that he uses to lift himself up. He gets to a high point where just the power just cuts out of these robots, and he falls down face first. The kids were watching him. They're like, oh, he must be dead. I'm thinking he's dead. And then he just gets up like normal. He's like, oh. And all he had to do was like, he was kind of bleeding on his side a bit. And I was like, what? He fell from like, it had to be 20 feet in the sky. Had to be 20 feet in the air he fell. He didn't break a neck. Oh my goodness. Hold on a quick second. All right, back. To let my dog out of my room. But he fell 20 feet from the sky. He gets hit, and it looks like he took a hard hit to the ground, and he gets up like nothing. I don't know if these people, these robots, these humans are genetically modifying these kids to be like some sort of superhuman people, but oh my, I don't know what's going on. And then it's crazy enough because there was a part where the main boy was trying to get this picture from the one guy who was drawing the picture with the fish with the hands, and he didn't get that picture. This girl literally like somersaulted to a tree. She didn't climb the tree. She somersaulted like almost 10 feet in the air, jumped to the tree, and is holding to the tree like she's Spider-Man. And I'm like, what is going on here? Listen, I don't know what's going on in this safe haven school right now, but we're gonna get some more evidence here because something's weird. We got some sort of weird plague thing going on. We got kids falling from friggin' 20 feet in the sky, getting up like it's nothing, and then we got kids acting like they Spider-Man. Crazy enough, crazy enough. The episode starts off with a man-eater fight, which was crazy intense. Like absolutely crazy. And the fact is, my prediction was wrong. Well, somewhat right. We find out this man-eater pretty much, it absorbs people after they eat it. Like we find out this thing absorbed, the man-eater absorbed the innkeeper's son. So the thing is, the innkeeper like was continuously giving the man-eater food, and I'm guessing it just grew to, I guess, take for what it's happening. But that was absolutely freaking wild right then and there. But you know, she protects him. She's like, listen, don't attack it, don't attack it. Which the fight animation in that was absolutely crazy. Especially the whole whip going super fast. But you know, you have it to where the innkeeper tries to protect the thing. It's like, it's my son, it's my son. So it was partially right. I was partially right. It apparently, I guess, but the thing is that it eats a human and it absorbs, like, I guess, their consciousness. But then next thing you know, they're like, well, all right, fine, I guess. Boom, innkeeper instantly dies. Now I had a feeling the innkeeper would die. I'm like, I think this thing is faking it so then it can kill her. And it did kill her. And I was just like, oh god. And they didn't kill her. They killed her in a brutal way. We didn't see no like splurging out of blood, but we saw a pretty grotesque death. Like freaking cut her head up into many pieces as well as her body. I was like, oh shit. Oh. This show ain't playing around with the gore fest shit. They freaking showed a half-naked kid. So I don't know, man. And then obviously you get the ending of the episode where the guy you know, Haru's trying to make his move on Kiriko, but Kiriko's like, listen, dude, I'm a guy in a girl's body right now. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know if this is like just a bluff, so obviously maybe she ain't catching the feels from Kiriko, but I guess for right now, I guess this is ending off this Kiriko X Maru relationship angle that they're going. But if that's the case, like, no, that is actually a dude in a girl's body. Then what the hell is going on here, dude? I am absolutely freaking confused. Also, too, we do find out when they go to the safe haven, apparently Kiriko went mad when her brother died in some sort of racing incident. So that's another thing. It seems like she was a very popular person back before the world went to shit or ruined, pretty much. So it's going to be very interesting to see where his story's going to go. But man, Heavenly Delusions is really damn good, and I'm really liking this right now. And right now, out of all the animes I'm watching so far, this is anime of the season right now. And I haven't watched everything. I don't even watch most of anything. Like, for example, Demon Slayer's coming out. I haven't even watched one episode of Demon Slayer. But right now, if we're talking about, like, if you're taking out all the main hitters, which are like Dr. Stone, Demon Slayer, I'll add Eden Zero to the mix. But I'm talking like animes that, you know, aren't as big, like the shonen big animes. This is right now probably anime of the season right now. And I'm very intrigued to see where the story's going to go. And yeah, but those are my thoughts on Heavenly Delusions episode 1 and 2. If my Saturdays are free, I will get them out on time for review and things like that. But yeah, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on the last 2 episodes of Heavenly Delusions, as well as hit the subscribe button. And you'll get more Heavenly Delusions content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.